Homer Badman is the 9th episode of the 6th season of The Simpsons, and this aired originally in November 1994, directed by Jeffrey Lynch. And I don't know why, but I seem to just remember this episode really well. I've seen it 2, 3, maybe 4 times over the last few years, probably more when I was younger, and it just stuck in my memory quite a lot. And that's not to say it's because I absolutely adored it from start to finish, but certainly I enjoyed it. And it starts off with this candy convention, and there are candies, sweets, whatever, absolutely everywhere. And we have some brilliant animation and gorgeous bright colours and some fascinating creations. And that aspect of it I found to be really entertaining and really delightful. And Homer steals this very rare, otherwise protected gummy replica. And one thing leads to another. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but as a result of this gummy replica, he accidentally gets himself into a bit of bother with the law because of something a babysitter thought he did. And I won't say too much more than that, but, well, I will say it's a sexual harassment case, but we as viewers know that this gummy Venus was on this babysitter's trousers. Will this babysitter actually successfully sue Homer, or will he ever reveal the truth? I do think it's one of those episodes where if Homer had just said something, the whole thing could have been resolved very quickly, but obviously the episode would be over very quickly, so they had to persevere a bit. I was curious to see what happened. I remember the first time I remember watching it at least, not being sure where it would end up or how the narrative would resolve itself and what would happen with Homer, so I was emotionally invested in it to a degree. I was obviously on Homer's side because we know things as viewers that other people in the narrative don't, and I thought it was an interesting, it went over the top, it went above and beyond what it could have done, and it worked well. It's a little bit ludicrous in places. Maybe it shouldn't be so light-hearted when they're doing, they're addressing a potential or accused sexual assault, or sexual advances, but I still think it works. And I liked it, but I prefer the beginning, when they're at the convention and everything's fun, and they obviously had a lot of fun with animating it. But generally, it's a really good episode. Homer's character is very interesting. It's rare that Homer has not done something wrong when he's being accused of it. I'm not saying the way he tried to grab the Venus was the right thing, and bearing in mind he stole this to begin with, but in a roundabout way, he hasn't done that much wrong. It's a nice episode. I like it. Certainly it's one that, as I said, for whatever reason, it kind of just stuck in my mind, and I know it quite well, even though I've seen it pretty much as a lot of the other episodes around about it. And it's good fun, but there are serious moments in it as well, which I think is maybe something some people will have a problem with. Not the fact that there are serious moments, but the fact that it is using, obviously, comedy, it's The Simpsons, when it's handling what is potentially such a serious subject matter. But personally, I think it got the balance well, and I think some of the characters showed admirable qualities, especially towards the end. Some of the kind of raging feminists that we have in this, who could potentially give feminism a bad name because of the situation, but actually I think it handled all of these things very well, and I think it worked out. I know some people, from what I've read online, are maybe not in agreement with that. That's absolutely fine. I'd love to know what you think of it. For me personally, it's definitely not, my all-time favourite episode or anything, but Homer Badman is one that I enjoy.